Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update.
From cargo vessels to ferries, electrified shipping is beginning to make waves in the maritime industry. A growing number of global players are shifting from diesel-powered vessels towards electric-powered ones to reduce carbon footprint and emissions to safeguard the environment. Of course, this is in line with meeting the emissions reduction targets set by International Maritime Organization, the specialized UN body responsible to formulate international conventions and standards in navigation safety as well as environmental protection in shipping. Well, here in Singapore, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore has also mandated all harbour craft to become fully electric, be capable of using B100 biofuels or be compatible with net zero fuels such as hydrogen by 2030. However, the transition isn't without its challenges. Companies must balance operational efficiency, regulatory requirements, and the upfront costs of adopting new technologies. So, what are the biggest challenges companies face in balancing sustainability goals with operational demands? And what does the future hold for electrification in the maritime industry? To explore these critical questions, we are joined by Huan Ping, Head of Sales Drives Singapore at Danfoss Drives. Danfoss Drives is a global leader in the variable speed control of electric motors. Welcome, Huan Ping.
Hi, Amy.
Great to have you on the show. It's your first time on radio, I hear?
Yes, it's my first time.
Okay, I'm sure you'll do just fine. First off, Huan Ping, Danfoss Drives is an electric and energy-efficient solutions provider. So share with us some of the projects that you've done in the maritime industry.
Okay, the project that we have done, we have done all sorts of, first of all, let me introduce our Danfoss Drives. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a division of Danfoss that develops and manufactures the variable frequency drives, which optimize the motor performance, improve the energy efficiency, and reduce the emissions in the marine industry. Mm-hmm. So with this, we have multiple projects from different customers. So one of the success stories which we are in the press media is the full electric vessel passenger crew. So, that is the one that we have our drives incorporate with the different technology partners, power management system, automation system, with the motors, high efficient motors, and etc. That forms the full integrated solutions for the full high electric vessels. And we have different types of vessels as well. We do different kinds of vessels from crew boats, launch boats, and to even basically to the big vessels like tugs, as well as tankers and etc. That's what Danfoss portfolio is.
I mentioned that electrification is becoming a key focus in the maritime industry. What can you tell us about perhaps the drivers behind this shift in Singapore?
First of all, as just now was mentioned, basically from the global IMO and international platforms, right? They have the initiatives or the regulations cut down on the carbon emission. And then from top down in Singapore, MPA has cut the decarbonization footprint towards the 2050. So that is the first initiative from the drivers that drives Singapore into electrification. So what is driver for this is, so Singapore roadmap decarbonization, where the MPA actually aims to reduce the first absolute emission from the domestic harbour craft by 15% from the past year 2021 levels, and then through the adoption of all these lower carbon energy solutions such as the biofuel, LNG, diesel electric hybrid propulsion, and then towards the full electric propulsion. So by 2050, MPA aims for our harbour craft fleet to half of 2030 level emissions by transitioning to the full electric propulsion and net zero fuels.
Huan Ping, as I mentioned earlier, I'd really like to get a sense of how Danfoss Drives is involved in the electrification of this industry. Can you tell me more?
First of all, for Danfoss Drives, we are tailored. Basically, we are going towards tailored solutions, yeah? And then for the tailored solutions, it's a customer-centric approach, which we deal with companies towards a common goal, where our drives are used with the different kinds of energy or resources like battery, wind, etc. okay, that forms the entire skeleton of the electrical network in the vessel. So with these tailored solutions and customer needs, so we shift customers towards this electrification so that we maintain the full operational efficiency and achieving the sustainable targets for the vessels.
Wonderful. Could you perhaps also share a couple of success stories or notable projects your company has been involved in?
Okay, we deal mainly with the system integrator normally. And then so with our drives, which is our technology, okay, we are the drive expert. We work with system integrators to offer to the ship owners, the shipyards, basically with our solutions. So this is our main core of business, where the ship owners or the yards are building ferries. So we are going to electric ferries or even hybrid, if let's say they are not going for the full extensive electric yet.
Okay, and through these projects, what do you find are the biggest challenges companies face?
I think the challenges is looking down for full electrification. I think it also boils down to the same what we experience here on land. For example, EV vehicles. Do we actually fully transit to a full EV now after the years? No, because I think challenges is because of the infrastructure, the charging. They basically towards electrification and sustainability, premium comes into play. So you have the high upfront cost, which is the investing in those equipments, which is hybrid propulsion, the fuels, okay, and then regulatory compliance as well, yeah, because from IMO's targets, it's constantly evolving, right? Yeah, then so companies are to adapt quickly to avoid the penalties. And then, as I mentioned in the beginning, the infrastructure gap, because Singapore is small, so ports still lack of the shore powers facility or the sufficient charging infrastructure for our electric vessels. So the industry must invest in the scalable solutions to support this widespread electrification.
Okay.
Yep.
From your perspective, Huan Ping, what role does technology play in speeding up this electrification of the maritime industry? And how are advancements in energy storage as well as power management shaping the future of this industry?
I think the future of the maritime electrification, as you mentioned, is the energy storage, right? But energy storage, from batteries' point of view, I think they are improving in terms of energy density and the lifespan. And obviously, the disposal of battery, people are looking at also the second life battery. But then on the hybrid and fully electric propulsion, more vessels are more adopting to the full electric propulsion, integrating the battery power with energy efficient variable frequency drives for optimized performance. And then next, we are also looking at, as you can see, hydrogen and ammonia fuel cells, which is the alternative, the green hydrogen and ammonia, which is gaining attraction as the zero-emission fuel sources, right, which is advancing to support the longer voyages and the larger vessels.
Okay. Huan Ping, before we let you go, what trends and innovations do you foresee in the near future in the maritime sector's journey towards this full electrification by 2030?
Basically, now people are looking at hydrogen, ammonia fuel cells, and then as an alternative source of the energy. And I think shore power and smart charging facilities, the infrastructures are what ports are increasingly investing, okay, in the shore power, the buoying, that's what we call, and also the automated charging system. And AI and digitalization also plays a part with this all these smart energy management systems, which can optimize energy consumption, predict the maintenance needs, and obviously enhance the operational efficiency for the electric vessels. And then integration, basically the renewable energy, solar, wind, or even wave are being explored as the different power sources for in future ships, so that reducing the reliance on the traditional fuels. So all these innovations, I think, they are pushing the maritime industry towards a cleaner and more sustainable, which aligns with our global decarbonization goals, I believe.
Huan Ping, what do you think is the most pressing need for industry players in terms of this transition?
I think the gaps are, at the moment, if let's say we are in Singapore, talking in the aspect of Singapore, it will be the infrastructure gaps. Yeah, because Singapore is small, the ports, so we are building. So people are looking into, or I would say owners are looking to building electric vessels, okay, because everybody is going towards the trend. So if we were to build all these vessels, but where is the charging points? So yeah, this is one thing that this is the gap, which is on the infrastructure, where we are lacking in on the ports, where we need to increase the shore power facilities, to charge all these up and coming electric vessels.
Okay, so it's not just about the technology on the ships themselves, but also the infrastructure to support them. All right, thank you very much for sharing your insights, Huan Ping, into the evolving landscape of maritime electrification, some of the challenges, and the road ahead for sustainable shipping. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
He is Tan Huan Ping, Head of Sales Drive Singapore at Danfoss Drives.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.